Welcome back, guys. Dr. Derek King here with YourBrainChild.org, educating parents for student success. Well, a child's homework can sometimes be a rough time. And guess what? Studying longer doesn't always mean a better result. In fact, it can actually have the opposite result. So in this short video, we're going to discuss the tips and tricks to make sure you get the most out of your child's study in the shortest amount of time. Let's get started. Okay, mom and dad, remember, it was Michael Jordan who said, if you shoot 10,000 shots a day and you do those incorrectly, the only thing you're going to do is get really good at shooting bad shots. And doing homework and studying is no different. Think about how many times you studied for a long period of time and didn't learn very much. Well, today, we're going to fix that. Now, this video is a companion video to our Parent-Teacher Advantage video. If you haven't done so, please make sure you end up watching that video because it gives you a more well-rounded aspect of what you should be doing with your child's teachers and how to partner with them very well. And also, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of our Thursday and Sunday conversations. Studying longer doesn't always mean a better result. In fact, it could actually make things worse as it relates to your child loving learning and actually absorbing the information. Well, in this short video, we're going to discuss 5 specific ways of how to ensure that your child can absorb the most information in the shortest amount of time. Step 1. Read the learning objective. Remember, in the Parent-Teacher Advantage, it talks about the learning objective. The learning objective basically identifies what your child is supposed to learn in that unit. So for example, if the learning objective in that particular block of study for that homework, says something about maybe the Civil War or something, what I want you to do in step 1 is to also find a short YouTube video and watch a video on the Civil War. That will help your child put everything into context. They'll have a better understanding as to what they're reading when that reading actually happens. It's my recommendation that you try to find a video between 5 and 7 minutes. Step 2, study for 25 to 30-minute chunks. Professor Marty Lobel did a long study about, the effectiveness of study. And what it basically showed that if you study for longer than 25 to 30 minutes, it actually tapers off to where you're not really retaining the information. So in step 2, what we want to make sure that you do is that your child studies for 25 to 30-minute blocks. Then they take a 5-minute rest break, no longer than 5 minutes. Now in that 5 minutes, we want them to do something else, get their mind off of it. Remember, your mind is a muscle, so we need it to relax after that 25 to 30-minute session. Step 3, find a dedicated place to study. Don't let your child study in their room. Basically your environment dictates what's going to happen. So if your child is studying in their room, your room is meant for what? Sleeping. Exactly. So with that being the case, it's going to make them tired being in the room. Further, with you as a parent, it's very hard to verify what they're doing. Are they actually studying? Are they being distracted? Are they keeping to the 25 to 30 minutes and then the 5-minute rest period? Or is it a whole lot of rest, more texting to their friends, a whole lot of distraction, maybe just listening to music and even falling asleep? So you want to have a dedicated place to study. Now, that dedicated place to study could also be the kitchen table like it is in my house. What you want to do and what you may consider is labeling that place of study sessions, at that time. So your child understands within those moments they're studying. And if there is background noise, that background noise is music turned down way low or something like that because you don't want to get them distracted. One of the keys to studying shorter and more effectively is being very focused while your child is studying. Step 4. Now, step 4 is really study actively. Like I said, be very, very focused. And so basically, when you're trying to learn information, it kind of breaks down into 2 parts. Part 1 is facts. Part 2 is concepts. So facts are persons, place, or things. So for example, facts could be the names of the 50 states of the United States. But concepts, which are more important, actually stick with you better. Now, a concept could be why you did something. So for example, a concept could be why did the U.S. go into the Civil War? And you'll break down the different states, in terms to why they actually went into the Civil War and what their positions were. Now, that video in step number 1 actually helps to reinforce that. So it'll help to identify and reinforce the concept, based on what your child is actually reading in step 4. And that way they're a lot more focused and they have a lot better understanding. Step 5, you want your child to take great notes. Okay, taking great notes as they're doing the reading allows them to be able to go back and identify what they still don't understand about the learning objective. Is it a fact they don't understand, or is it a concept that they don't understand? Remember, they can go back and relate it to the video that they watched in step 1. So if they don't fully understand it, they can ask you afterward, and you can have a discussion on how to help them if you fully understand the fact. Or what I do in my house is I have my child do a Google search after we've looked at the book to make sure that the fact is not in there. If they don't fully understand the concept, I even try to explain it to them if I understand it. And if I don't, we then use technology to try to uncover that concept. If we still don't understand it, my child records it, so then that way they can ask the teacher in the morning. Now, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and click the like button. And if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and click subscribe. That way you don't miss any of our Sunday or Thursday conversations. Well, question of the day, what other study tip do you have that allows children to be able to study shorter and study smarter? Well, please let me know. Put it in the comment section. And again, remember, let us celebrate with your child. Any advances, any A's or anything like that your child gets, put them in the comment section, and that way we can actually celebrate together. And on behalf of all educators, I'm Dr. Derek King. I highly appreciate your commitment to your child, as does all educators. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.